evening, good evening, good evening. We're going to do a live on Spiritism today. It is going to be a very interesting live where, um, well, first of all, welcome to our YouTube channel. Let me set the camera straight. Let me make sure I have everything on point here. I wasn't so much ready. Well, I was ready, but I wasn't planning to do the live, the streaming so late. But it got me here. The time in Houston, 11:42 p.m. So I say, hey, why not doing the live at this time? Whoever doesn't connect at this time, they will connect tomorrow. So we're going to do definitely. It is going to be a very interesting live for those of you. Yes, Nestor, this is going to be only an English live. So welcome to our YouTube channel. Welcome to my TikTok channel for those of you that speak English. Um, well, a little bit about us because we have 134,000 followers, but 95% of our followers are Spanish speakers. So lately, it's a couple of months ago we decided to make this channel bilingual, so we can also help, so we can help and teach the English community, the English community speaking. You know, so yes. My name is Dr. David Aggayu, Dr. Oriaté David Aggayu. I am an Orisha priest and Quince Malongo priest, Palo Mayombe priest as well. And I am thrilled to be your guide in this journey of spiritual exploration. You know, at least in this life, I guarantee you that you're going to learn some very essential and extraordinary tips on how to connect with your spirit, how to connect with your ancestors. This life is mainly to share with you guys some very old ancient tips on how to make that connection with the hereafter. You know, make that beautiful connection, that spiritual connection, that connection that a lot of the times it's not on literature, and a lot of the times you go to one house and they tell you one thing, and then you go to another house and then and people tell you other things. So, and on TikTok, you guys can also follow me on my YouTube channel. I'm currently connected on TikTok. I am also live in YouTube. My YouTube channel is David Aggayu. And you guys can also follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and I pretty much have all social medias. So, yeah. Spiritism. What is Spiritism? Well, for those of you that who may not know, Spiritism is a philosophical doctrine that offers profound insights into the nature of the spirits, the afterlife, and the moral laws that governs our universe. You know, the earth and heaven, and beneath the earth. You know, Spiritism is a path that encourages us to seek wisdom, to seek practice, empathy, and to strive for the self improvement of ourself, especially our inner self. That is mainly Spiritism. You know. And basically, in this live stream, we will explore the mysterious but fascinating world of connecting with our ancestors and spiritual guides. You know, we're gonna be sharing those tips and tricks, you know, how they say, you know, tips and tricks that are not common at all and that you will not hear in another place. I guarantee you that, you know. And these tips and tricks are going to help you on an everyday basis because these are a lot of these are practices, ancient practices that has been lost over time, you know, and that we could use, and that it will be very effective. It will be very effective if we apply it in our house. I try to do here the life in my spiritual vault that I have here, but since I am not so skinny per se, I pretty much cover the whole entire vault. What I'll try to put it like that, you know. So you guys on TikTok, I am going to have a cigarette, so I'm not gonna show my face here on the camera, so my life won't get blocked. And for those of you new followers or English followers, I always apologize with my followers for the cigarette, you know, because I do smoke. But yeah, I guarantee you that if you can excuse my addictive behavior, the cigarette, and you can and and you can excuse me on that, I will make it up to you with very good and helpful knowledge that if you apply to yourself, to your house, to your family, it's gonna pay it forward in a lot of ways, shapes and form. So, you know, in this life, I'm gonna also discuss how three principles in our direct communication of elevating our inner self and the mediumship can connect us directly with our spiritual guides, our family guides, our cordon. Cordon will be like in the circle guides of the spirits, you know, and our Congo guide, because many of us have a Congo in our spiritual. How will you say that? Please, sorry for my English life, guys. I have a horrible accent. I have yes, I do have a horrible accent, but you know, I say if I don't a spiritual square. There you go. Thank you very much. Si Carvajal. I say if I don't practice, if I don't start doing this, eventually, you know, I'm never gonna get good at it. In the accent, that's what I mean. Good, getting good at the accent. So yeah, even in my 5 schools, even in the Spiritism school that I am a director of and that I teach, you can check it out in www.davidalagayu.com. And you can enroll in there as well. We have a live translator in the school. Thank you very much, Nestor, from the bottom of my heart. You are amazing, my English speakers. Gracias por quedarse. So, guys, yes. So, whether you are seasoned, whether you are an experienced spiritist or just curious about it, about the subject, there's going to be very helpful teachings in this life, because at one point in time, Maria says you get your point across. At least I get to do that. Thank you very much, Maria. At what point in time you are going to have to connect with your spirits. It doesn't matter if you practice Orisha, it doesn't matter if you practice Palo Mayombe, it doesn't matter if you practice Ifa, it doesn't matter what you practice. Even if you practice another religion that doesn't have to do with anything to do with Ifa, Orisha, or Oriaté, or Orisha, or Santero, or Palero, you know. At what point in time, you guys, you will have to make a connection with the hereafter, you will have to make a connection with your spirits and with your spiritual ancestor. I guarantee you that. So you might want to save this live, download this live, and upload it into your cloud, up to your cloud, because trust me when I say, in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, in 10 years, you're going to need this life. So let's get started. Okay, that was quite of an introduction. 10 minutes of introduction. Godly, I need to make my introductions smaller, shorter. Shorter. The new English community speaker are gonna be like, dude, you need to get better at introductions, because those long introduction speech are, but yeah, little by little I will get better, guys. So, oh, I'm sorry. So please don't forget to hit like, to like, to share, and subscribe to my TikTok, but especially to my YouTube channel, which is my main strong source of appearance to the public. Also on Facebook and other social media, but mainly on YouTube. So yeah, connecting with your spirits, connecting. What is to connect with your ancestors? What is to connect with your spiritual guides? How can you connect with your ancestors? Anybody has the ability to do this. New Jersey in the house, for sure. Anybody has the ability to do this. Whether you're not initiated or you are initiated, it doesn't matter what level of initiation you have into Orisha or Ifa, because guess what? This does not have to do nothing with Orisha and Ifa. This is another level. This is a different level. This is a separate level. This is let's just leave it at that way. A different level, Anybody can practice Spiritism and connect with the hereafter, So connecting with your spiritual ancestors can be a deeply personal and transformative experience. And it can be a little scary at first. You might, if you get kind of good at it after a couple of days, and if you follow along this life, and you write a couple of tips and tricks down, mostly everything, and you put it into practice, it's gonna be pretty scary the first or second time, but by the third time, you're gonna be like, I know who it is, I know what it's saying, and if you listen to what they're saying, oh man, life is just gonna be so smooth, so better, at so many levels, that you're just gonna fall in love with these people here, with the spirits. This is the best thing. Spirits. Orishas are the world to me. Orishas means the world to me. I love the practice of Orisha more than what I love my life. But this is heaven. Because this will solve your problem on the spot. Egun, the spirits, this connection will solve your problem at the speed of a light. You know what I'm saying? This connection is a different level. For Orishas. Oh shit. Okay, so what happened in the public life, in a streaming, for the first time in my life, I just burned a very nice and expensive. This is actually freaking hilarious. And if I will have my comments activated on TikTok, everybody will be laughing their asses off. I'm sorry, excuse my French. Yeah, I have the candle in back of me, and I got a little bit close to the back, and I just got burned the hell out of my shirt on the back. And if I show it to you, everybody's going to laugh. And since I want, relax things down, and I did rub my back also. That is funny though. This is funny, and this is kind of like the result of when you get nervous in an English life because you don't speak English, although you have done more than 5,000 live since 15 years. Been doing this for 15 years, It's fucking hilarious. I can't believe this. Okay. So now you are going to a different place. Yeah, TikTok. Don't think I'm going to activate the comments because you guys are going to... Se van a partir de la risa. Yes, it was with a candle. Indeed. So that's different. I never seen anybody getting burned on a live stream with the, and I swear my how do you say in English? I swear my heart, my soul to God. Stuff happens. That's not stuff. That's something else. Okay, but anyways, the shirt will be fine. I'll get another one, and let's get on with the life. They are definitely everybody's laughing. Yeah, it's funny as hell though. I'm trying to hold my laugh. Yes, it's a spirit. I'm sure it's a spirit. I'm sure they want, I don't know, something out of me or something like that. Or maybe they just want me to do the life a little bit more away from the bowl the next time so I don't get burned, Because a lot of things we can relate to the spirits, and a lot of things just happens because of our own actions. And we're gonna be talking about that also. If we don't have time to talk about that in this life, we're gonna be talking about that on the next live. And for those of you that are in TikTok, if you follow me on my YouTube channel, you're gonna see a lot of these English lives. I have hundreds and hundreds of Spanish lives, but I'm gonna be doing a lot of English lives. My YouTube channel name is David Allah Aggayú. Aggayú with double G, by the way. So yes, there's definitely a lot of pattern of behaviors you can develop to achieve this transformative experience of connecting with the spirits, And it is essential, it is crucial. One of the most important things. Yeah, Nestor, you have my permission to do that. It is essential that one of the most important things that we do before we connect, we decide to make a preparation to connect with our spirits, is to create a special space. Guys, we need to create a special space. It is not the same to have your spiritual vault, in the dining room, than to have it in a room, than to have it in a sacred place, than to have it in a separate space. It all depends on the type of spirits that you have. You get me? Maybe you might have a very jealous a spiritual guide. Maybe you might have a sociable spiritual guide. Maybe because even spirits, if us humans can be antisocial or social, trust me, guys, spirits can be the same way, and they can be a little bit more complicated than we think. Spirits are not as simple as we think they are. Don't think just because they're not physically in this. How do you say? Can you help me, guys? I'm gonna give an opportunity to TikTok because I always, no, I'm just gonna leave it like that because TikTok's always, gets me out of my. Guys, how do you say? So help me, please. In English, what's the correct term to say in this in this plane, is that that's in this plane of existence. I was trying to Google that word, but I saw the word plane and I was like, I don't know, about it might be talking about like a regular airplane or something like that. Okay, realm. Realm. I like that word. Yeah, dimension. There you go. I like dimension. I like realm. Realm is a little bit complicated for my. So dimension is a little bit easier for me. So in this earthly dimension, plane works well to explain. Okay, or earthly dimension. This earthly dimension. Uh, I even forgot what I was gonna say into all this thing. Well, anyways, we need to be able to make a connection that that spirits can be, that although their soul left to the hereafter, that even though we as human beings can be complicated in this earthly dimension, spirits can also be very complicated. So, another thing we need to do to set a connection with our spirits is to relax with the light slightly low. Lights slightly low. I've been to a lot of misas, and there's different types of spiritists. There's nothing wrong with you doing a misa with all the lights on. It's nothing wrong whatsoever with that. I can't do it. I just can't do it. But that's me. That's me. That's me. I cannot concentrate with 1,000 lights on. I need to have like a mellow, either all of the lights are off, which I love it, or like a mellow light, like you will post this live. Yes, of course, best kept. Just make sure if you're subscribed to my channel, you have that how do you call that notification into the you press the all button of the little campanita notification. You press all, so YouTube will notify you all everything I upload. Yeah, the light a little bit lower, not a lot of light. A little lamparita, a little candle. That's usually the way to go. If once you get to an experience level, if you have that type of spirit where once you get to an experience level, if you do get to identify that you have that type of spirit where it manifests more with all the lights, hey, go for it. Whatever works for you. The Spiritism world is very, I still can't believe I've done my shit. The Spiritism world is very wide open. I don't know how to express the correct term that I want to. It's very amplio. It's very wide. The Spiritism. So the third thing, the first, create a special space. It's very vast. It's very broad. Thank you very much, Rafael. Thank you. Carvajal also. You guys are amazing. The Spiritism world, Spiritism practice is very broad. It's very vast. Carvajal, you telling me all these big words, man. All those that word is too big for me. Keep it simple for now. Broad is very better. But I deeply appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So the third point to do that we need to do to connect better with the spirits, it's do prayers, songs, and mind you guys, this life is for the intentions that if you guys will be doing a spiritual mass or a spiritual misa, your spiritual misa, your first time. This is the life that you want to save whenever you want to try to do your spiritual misa for the first time. Or you want to put your spiritual bóveda and sit down for like half an hour, 40 minutes in front of your spiritual bóveda for the first time, Create a special space. Relax with the lights off. Do the prayers and songs. Set the intentions. Set the intention, but the intention has to come from inside out. If it doesn't come from inside out, does anyone always need to set? I will explain that in a second, Denise. That has an explanation. It's not necessarily by lineage or house, or it's not necessarily because you begin with 7 cups and then you evolve to 9 cups. You can have 70 years of being a spiritist and have 7 cups. You can have 80 years of being a spiritist and have 7 cups. 9 cups, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's more than 7 cups, spiritually speaking, you know. There's a reason why some people have 7 and some people have 9. But when we set the intention by setting the intention to connect with your ancestors for healing and guidance, when we create the sacred space, we designate in an area where you honor and connect with your ancestors. And this area, it can include a table, it can include the cloth, it can include personal objects of significance, such as photographs, heirlooms, or items representing your ancestral heritage, you know, ancestral heritage. Engage in rituals and practices. Lighting candles and incense can symbolize the presence of your ancestors and create a sacred ambience. And this is very important also. And guys, if you want to do this, if you want to do all these things before the fact, like before the day you're gonna do your first spiritual session, your first spiritual misa, your first spiritual mass, it's way better because you're preparing the air, you are preparing the vibe, you're preparing the energies, you are preparing the atoms, the spiritual atoms, the spiritual energies in the air that is full of energies that needs to get prepared, needs to be prepared, needs to be purified, because also the spirits need to know that you're going to do a misa. All of these things are very important for our spiritists to do, but especially if you're a beginner spiritist and you do this like 3 days before the day of the misa. On the day of the misa, you're gonna have a hell of a misa. You will gonna have a very successful misa. So meditation, guys. If you're on TikTok, please, if you can just tap the screen. Oh, I said it in a nice way. In Spanish sounds uglier. In Spanish it's like tap la pantalla. So in English it's like tap the screen, please. Thank you very much. And if you can share, that will help a lot. I'm trying to reach the community English speaking, the English speaking community religious followers or practitioners. That's the correct term. Practitioners, because there's just so much information. You guys have no idea. I have been doing lives almost every day for the past 15 years. So, you know, I have 15 years of content to share with the English speaking community, religious practitioners. In Spiritism, in Palo Mayombe, in Orisha, whether you want to be an Oriaté, whether you want to be you want to learn how to do Erindilogun, or Dilogun divination, or you want to learn the explanations of Ifa. I have so much things to share with you guys, so much humble knowledge. In a humble way, I can tell you this. Any difference between working on the bóveda and teja? I go, oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. My book, I have a book that is called The Secret of the Spirits. It's available in my personal website. All of my books are available. I have 37 literature, 37 books written, and I'm going into the book number 38, which is going to be about Eshu Elekba. And my last book that I published is exactly about that subject: how to work with your bóveda and how to work with your teja. What are the difference? How can you mount? How can you set up you yourself, your your ancestors' altar, altar in the service of Aggayu outside the house, that in a way that you don't need a santero, that you don't need a babalao, that you don't need an elderly person. Doesn't mean that you're not going to need that person in the future, but at least if you want to do it right now and you are in Germany, you're in the middle of nowhere, or maybe you're in Chicago, New York, Miami, Texas, hey, God knows, Tennessee, Kentucky, and you're just sick and tired of people lying to you, robbing you, stealing your money, scamming you, that's the book to go. That book is for aborishas, alejos, people that are not initiated, but it's also for all orishas, ganguleros, babalaos, and people that have no experience and a lot of experience. Because that 500-page book will teach you in all levels of in this religion, on how to represent your spirits outside and inside the house. So continuing with the subject of the life, meditation and visualization, sorry, excellent. It's very important, very important. This can help, this helps the mind, meditation, visualization, guys. You guys have no idea how can, just if you can just sit in your bóveda 5 minutes, or if you're gonna do your first misa, your first spiritual session or your first spiritual mass for the first time, and in the morning you sit when you first wake up without brushing your teeth yet. If you sit, just like, well, I'm not a morning person to begin with. I hate mornings. I wake up every day at 11 or 12 because I go to sleep every day at 5, 6, 7 in the morning. So that's the way the cookie crumbles in my life. But like, let's say per se, if you wake up in the morning, I'm going to active TikTok comments. The first comment that I see out of hand, I'm just gonna turn them off then. You wake up without brushing your mouth yet. You sit just for 5 minutes. Just for 5 minutes. 4 to 5 minutes. And when you first wake up in the morning, you're still a little bit dizzy. You're like, oh my God, I don't like mornings. I don't want to be here. And you sit in the bóveda for 3-4 minutes. Those 3 or 4 minutes are going to do miracles in the connection. You can turn off host invitation for this live you will receive. Yes, turn off. In the connection of heaven and earth, down earth and earth, in the connection of the realm, spiritual realm, in the connection of the hereafter, in every way, shape, and form of all spiritual levels, all connection levels. You need to visualize. I'll get better eventually at my accent. Visualize a scene from your ancestors' time and place. If you are going to do a spiritual mass, if you are going to do a misa, especially if it's your first misa, you know what I'm saying? especially if it's your first misa. And you just choose one of your main spirits, one of, I will talk about that in a second, lady. And you can pick one of the most closest spirits that you that you have had when that person was alive, that they're close to you, one of their closest spirits. And if you can just picture this this person when this person was alive, when maybe one of the times that you share moments with this person, thank you very much, Mobius. It's very overwhelming and a little, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's just very frustrating to do something you're not comfortable doing, which is doing a full life in English. It's very comfortable for me because I'm a son of Aggayú. I'm a deep investigator of this religion, and I'm a Virgo, and I'm a perfectionist. So when I do something that is not perfect, it really bothers me a lot. But if you guys accept it from the bottom of my heart, eventually with the help of you guys, I'll get good with time. Thank you, Christy and Angelo on TikTok. Yes, guys, try to visualize. Try to visualize. A couple of minutes before, you just sit down for 30 seconds. Or right where everyone sat down already. Nobody has to know what you're thinking about when you close your eyes. And you can just do it for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and you visualize. But you try to get that person's picture in your mind, in your head, like the hardest that you can, the deepest that you can, the strongest that you can. You can try to smell the sense, to remember the smell of the sense of this person when you share a certain moment, at a certain moment in time, when you share a moment with this person, when this person was alive. When you try to, your best, it's very hard at the beginning, but when you try to smell how the person used to smell when this person was alive, oh man, and thank you guys on TikTok, and I invite you guys on TikTok to follow me on my YouTube channel. I guarantee you will not regret it. Follow my YouTube channel. It's called David Aggayu. But when you try to, your hardest, when you try to smell that sense, when you try to remember that, it's gonna help you at least. It's gonna push a 25%. It's gonna push you to a 25% closer to the spirit connection, with you on that spiritual mass or that spiritual session that you're doing your first spirit. You guys can apply these tips and tricks, or this old ancient elderly practices of Spiritism that barely people do them anymore because Christy, at the beginning you will get bored, but once you establish that connection, trust me, you will not get bored. It's just a matter of getting used to it the first couple of days and the first couple of weeks, and testing your mind to something that your head is not used to. You see, guys, we need to know the difference between mind and head. Your mind, we need to obligate our mind, because our brain, not my head, talking about the head. I meant the brain. So mind and brain are two different concepts. And when we understand that in the Spiritism world, when we understand that in the scientific concept and into the spiritism concept, and even when we study Ori, when I wrote my book of Ori, how to align your Ori with your destiny, I speak about this concept of mind and brain. Mind and brain. You need to obligate your mind about certain patterns, especially spiritual patterns, that your brain doesn't want to do. Thank you very much, Alegua. Beyond peace. So when we obligate our minds the first couple of times, the first couple of days, or the first couple of weeks, hey, listen, after the first month, boredness is not going to be an issue for you. It's not going to be a problem. So dream work and journaling, these can provide a channel of communication through dreams and subconscious experience. I know how to spell it 120% right. I know how to read it 120% right. My problem is my pronunciation, but you guys understand me. Subconscious, it's a really deep concept that when we has spiritists understand the concept of subconscious, we're going to be able to take our level of our spiritual level to a whole nother level. When you understand mind, when you understand subconscious, and you understand the different levels of the spiritual realms and the earthly realms, because there's different types of realms. There's 21 different realms, and I teach this into the deep of these teachings, into my into our Spiritism school. We're gonna go deep into this subject. There's 21 spiritual. There's 21 levels between, in this whole universe. There's 21 levels. There's 7 underground. There's 7 above ground, and there's 7 up in heaven, sky, up there. With the airplanes and cosmos, and you go out of Earth, and you go to other planets. There you go. With the teachings of. I also apply those techniques into my teachings, Marimar, but with a little bit of more sophisticated concepts from other approved techniques. Also divination tools. Hey, Marianita, the school is online. You can subscribe. You can enroll into my personal website, which is davidalaggayu.com. You enroll in there, and I have like about 1,000 students. I have like 400 students in one school, 200 and something students in the other school. It's 5 schools. I have a lot of people from Europe too, and all of the classes stays recorded in the Zoom cloud, so you can see your personal classes and videos at any time that you want at your comfortability. You get a video, you get a live transmission with me and the students, and you'll get a PDF content in all the new live and new PDF content 3 times a week, 12 times a month. www.davidalaggayu.com. So let's continue with it, because this life is not to promote my schools and all that. I do my promotion another way. This life is to reach and teach the English community. And yeah, but it's very interesting. We need to remember whatever any divination tool, guys. If you're connected on my TikTok account, remember I'm also streaming on my YouTube account, which I have. Well, I just reached today 134K, 134,000 subscribers. So I'm very I'm very humbled by to know the fact that we're just getting out there and we're reaching more. We're reaching from 800 to 1,200 subscribers a week, and I'm just very happy we can get to help people all around the world, because this humanity can need some help in every way, shape, and form. We can need some help. I need some help myself in my English accent. So, yes. But definitely divination tools, divination tools. If you can remember, okay, we muted that person. That person. If you don't want any help, I'll just mute you. If the guy also followed me, that's ridiculous. So if you can remember any divination tool that a certain spirit used to use when that person used to live, and if you want to apply that tool in your spiritual vault, like let's say maybe this person, you remember that this person used to smoke cigarettes and they used to stay staring at the cigarettes. Cigarette smoke also talks. Smokology, the divination throughout the smoke, smokology, can have different meanings depending on the tobacco that you're using. It's not the same to interpret. And guys, I know you guys tomorrow in the Spiritism class are going to ask me. Don't worry, we will go deeply into the subject later on the road when we get to that part of the how do you say that, a planification that we made the year for you guys. Thank you, Mariana, for coming from TikTok to my YouTube channel. That is the whole point on doing the live on TikTok, because as a matter of fact, I don't like to do lives on TikTok. Yeah, I just had my TikTok account closed with almost 200,000 followers. Every time you go into TikTok, you have all of these people with all of this nonsense. So I just, that childish stuff on TikTok, I don't like it. Sorry for all those of you good people that are interested in learning, or maybe you're just interested in listening to a different perspective or point of view. I'm not saying it because of you guys. I'm just saying it because of the fact that you guys know what I'm talking about, because I'm pretty sure you go through the same thing yourself. So we need to remember the ability to connect with our ancestors in a way that we can. It's always available. Connection is always available. Connection, it is proven. It is proven that the human thought travels faster than the speed of light. If I'm not mistaken, speed of light travels at 150,000 kilometers. Miles per hour. Speed of light travels at 150,000 miles per hour, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the thought of the human brain travels at a rate of 300,000 miles per hour. So that means that our thoughts travels 2 times faster than the speed of light. Imagine the level of power that we have in our brain. Imagine the level of spiritual connection that we have at our disposal, that we have at our disposal in our mind. Remember when I said a couple of, a while ago, that I say in this life, that one thing is the mind and the other thing is the brain? Two different things. Yeah, two different things. So, yes, definitely, you can do all this, ability to connect with your ancestors through the practice. Always taking it into practice. So we can reconcile deep wounds and karmic patterns. So we can transform, the karmas of past generations, as well as work into the current and future generations for healing. And this spiritual journey, it's a long spiritual journey, but if you don't start today, you will never get good at it. And maybe you have a padrino or a madrina that is kind of good, and you're like, oh, whatever, it's alright, but hey, he's better than me. I don't know crap, but this person at least, it's kind of wacky, but it's I take it how it comes, and somebody better will appear in my life. The spirits will put someone better in my life down the road. But what you don't know is that you can be 5 times better than the person. Yes, I am Cuban. I am Cuban, guys, on TikTok. This is my TikTok account, David Aggayu. My YouTube uh, channel, in which I am live right now, it's also called David Aggayu. My name is Dr. Oriaté David Aggayu. I'm a writer, I'm an author, and I'm a professor at 5 religious online universities or online schools, private schools, in which you can check me out at www.davidalagayu.com. Also, my personal Facebook account is also called David Aggayu, and I have a Facebook page that I opened like 3 years ago, and I have more than 3,000 Spanish lives, also English lives, in that page. And that page is called Centro de Estudios Lucumí. Thank you very much, Luis Carlos. Thank you very much for your kind words. So we've been on this live for an hour. I have shared some tips and tricks, but I am known, for those of you that don't know me, that are gonna get to know me for the first time now, or that are watching this live, and you're gonna give me the opportunity or the benefit of the doubt, and you're gonna watch 2 or 3 lives of me in the future. I am a little bit known of doing extended lives. I am not that known of doing short content, 1 hour content, half an hour content. That's not my type of content. Thank you very much, Lucky Lucy. I invite you uh, to check my YouTube channel out. You're gonna like it better than here on TikTok. David Aggayu on YouTube. So the full content that I want to talk to you about. Oh, thank you, Lucky. You're amazing. It's divided into 2 parts. The introduction. Well, yeah. I don't know who. Oh yeah, I think I seen it. I seen that guy. I think he's a babalao. I think so. That's I have had several requests, but I have never accepted an interview from any social medias, interviewers, um, and TV channels. God is my witness. So has my wife. I have been invited several times, but God knows, maybe I'm in a very spiritual good mood that specific day. If um, I do receive that invitation, I do not plan to. I do not plan to invite myself. That's unethical. You don't invite yourself into places. They need to invite you. You know. But I seen some of his content and his the very short, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and he sounds professional. As a matter of fact, yes, yes, he does. And no show, when it comes to talk about Orisha, Ifa, Egun, Spiritism, and Malongo. Sounds like no show. But yeah. Oh man, I thought I was drinking like Cuban coffee. This Cuban coffee has been here for like the past hour, and I thought like I felt something funny in my mouth, and I was like, bro, I hope this is not a freaking bug or nothing like that. Because first, I had you guys, a lot of people didn't saw it, but see it, but at the first of the life, at the beginning, YouTube needs a private message feature. Yes, it does. That's the only thing that YouTube needs in order to be perfect. It's a message, private message button or something. And I burned my shirt. I burned my whole back with a candle, and I had to turn it off. And I messed up my shirt. I have a huge burn hole in my back of my shirt. It was very funny. I also burned my skin though. And then I thought I felt something funny in the coffin. I thought it was like a bug or fly or something like that. I was like, no, man, I hope it's not, because this is not the night then. But it turns out it wasn't. It was just cough. So let's keep on, because we have finished the first part of the life, which was the introductory introductory. Is that even a word? Or I don't know. But I came from Cuba. I came from Cuba when I was 11 years old, and maybe in my subconscious stays a couple of words I have heard like in middle school and or high school when I went in Miami. Um, oh, Smurfangle says I said it correct. Introductory. Punction says introduction is good. Marima says introduction, but more. I, I was reading a book one time, and the book said introductory. That words, I think it is. Well, anyways, introduction is fine. So let's keep on with the life. The point of this life is to share with you guys a lot of old and ancient elderly tips and tricks. Oh, okay, pumped. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. A lot of tips and tricks on how to connect with your spiritual guides, on how to do your first spiritual mass on your own. You can do this on your own. It might not turn out to be perfect the first time, the first one. Might not turn out to be perfect the second one, the third one. But trust me, after the fifth one, the sixth one, the seventh one, or the 10th one, eventually you're gonna get good at this. You will get good at this. There's no way you will do what I'm sharing with you or what I'm teaching you on this life or in my book, Spiritism. I have a book. I have a written book that is called Spiritism, which is one of my most um, best-selling literature books around the whole world. It's also available in my personal website, david@aggayú.com. None of my literature it's available on Amazon, eBay, Bookster. I'm 100% owner of my rights. I have my own editorial, I have my own printing company, and I have, you know, that's the reason why I have my own, all of that. If you do it on your own, would that help your spiritual development? Desarrollo. Well, Marimat, you know, if you have somebody to help you in your first steps, that's awesome. But guess what? Maybe, guys, let me say something. I open my readings every month, and at distance, you know, I do readings at my botanica, which is called Botanica Oriaté here in Houston on Saturdays. But I do long distance readings for many hundreds of people, religious people, non-religious people. And I hear some wild things all day, every day. You guys, if you guys think you guys have seen horrible things in this religion, you guys don't know what horrible is. I seen a lot, like horrible, in capital letters, it's all the way up there. And this is, you know, this is the reason why I do these kinds of lives, streamings. This is the reason why I started 15 years, 15 years ago. It's gonna go on to 15 years. I was the pioneer. I was the first religious person that ever did a live point blank on Facebook when it just came up, when they just came up with live streaming 13 years and a half ago. And that's exactly the reason why I did it, because I mean, 15 years ago there weren't that many scams, but scams has always exist in this religion, in all their scalafons, whether it's Orisha, Spiritism, Palo, Ifa, all day, every day. But now these days, it's extremely sad, extremely sad. So going on to the second, how would I say that? Like the second term of the life, the second step, the second shit. I'm sorry, crap. How would I say that? The second part of the life. What's the correct term, guy? Oh, TikTok! Look at my burnt shirt. You see? That's cool. Look at my burnt shirt. That's cool. That's funny as hell. What? The second part, the second portion. Thank you very much. Second, entonces. Thank you, Lucky. When Reina sees this tomorrow, she's gonna be dying laughing her ass off for the rest of the day. Con lo burlona que es ella, she laughs at everything. She looks serious, but she laughs at everything. So, yeah. So the second part. Why is this telling me to verify some kind of thing? And TikTok is a crazy platform. So, the Spiritist, we are spirit. We. Mrs. Peña, bendiciones al final. Tú sí suenas. Levantaste a Adriana. Eres el único religioso con pruebas de voz. Gracias, Peña. Thank you very much. I'm very glad that that young lady, that Ariana, is fine, and she's gonna be better. Oh, trust me, she's gonna be better. I'm not gonna stop until I see her walking and driving. I'm gonna help her, and she probably don't know, and she probably will never know. But her guardian angel, which is Obanani, you know, knows, and that's more than enough for me, because I have a special bond with that Orisha, Obanani. So yeah, we are, as human beings, we as spiritists, has channelers of energies and mediators between the material and the spiritual world. We have to maintain a state of both physical and spiritual cleanness. So there's no way you're gonna be able to do a misa all drunked up or all drugged up, being drugged, being drunk, being at a state where your mind is not clear. If your mind, I mean, one thing that I'm not talking about if your enfumbe or your spirit comes down to this earthly plane, and if it starts drinking his life off, that's already the spirit being on this earthly plane, space, dimension. And if it's a responsible and enlightened spirit, it's always going to do it with responsibility. No spirit are going to come out to earth and drink 10 bottles or 5 bottles of fire water. That's just, it doesn't happen like that. If your spirit does that, it's because the spiritist that is possessed with this spirit likes to drink alcohol, and it's just, their body can observe that kind of alcohol. But we have to maintain both the physical and the spiritual cleanness. So, guys, if you are connected to my YouTube channel, please hit a like, hit the subscribe button, like the live, share the live. Let's help other people by sharing, by liking. Just by liking this live, you are telling YouTube that this streaming is positive for the community. So YouTube, what it does, the algorithm, it shares it with more English speaking community people, with more English users, and that's really, I don't like to ask for money. I don't like to ask for super thanks. I don't do that. I just always tell my friends, my people, my followers, or my viewers, just to hit the like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and share, like and share, like and share. And yes, blessings, Queen Bee. So physical cleansing, cleansing. Sounds like some kind of physical cleansing implies maintaining a healthy body, free of toxins like drugs, because when we have a body, when we start a spiritual session free of toxins, I said toxins, I got that word from our spiritual energies flows through our blood way better. So then on the other hand, spiritual cleansing refers to maintaining a state of inner peace and a balance. We need to be free of negative emotions. When we're gonna sit here on this table, if we don't get free from negative emotions that is going to interfere with the spiritual communication, nothing is gonna happen. If you're mad at your wife, at your son, or your family member, or your significant other, 5 minutes before your misa starts, don't even do that misa that day. Oh yeah, cigarette is fine, tobacco is fine, because we have spirits. I mean, not that I'm a cigarette addicted, cigarette addict, a nicotine addict. I'm not saying it because of that. I'm saying it because of the simple fact and the fact that you guys know that most spirits, used to smoke. And it's not only the fact that spirits used to smoke, the fact that in a spiritual session, in a spiritual mass, we 95% of the people smoke so the spirits can talk more. It goes way beyond that. It goes way deeper than that. It goes to the deeper side of the smokology, to the divination throughout the smokology. It goes to the spiritual manifest in the smoke. It's been scientifically proven, paranormally proven, and it's been proven that spirits manifest in gases. And when you talk about gases, you talk about energies, you talk about smoke, you talk about all these things that can just disappear, that you have around you and that you don't see it. Like right now I'm smoking inside my office. I have 2 air extractor and 1 huge air purifier. But nevertheless, this room is also right now, it might be full of smoke, but I probably don't see it that much. And in that smoke, spirits resides. Spirit lives in the smoke. Thank you very much, Lucky. Thank you very much. So in addition to physical and spiritual cleansing, the mental, psychological preparation of the spiritualist, it's equally or even more important, crucial. Guys, listen to me. There's a lot of crazy people out there. There's a lot of messed up people out of their brain and mind. Mind you. There's a lot of messed up people out of the head there. There's, we need to be careful who do we call to get a misa done to us. I like to include myself to be, incense considers has smoke also. Cigarettes considered has smoke. That burning thing that Reina, that we saw in the Botanica, that she's always mentioning the name, that burning thing people buy at the Botanica. I have it in my Botanica of different countries and places. I said in my Botanica. I just don't know how to pronounce that. It's how do you call that? That thing you buy and you burn, and I personally don't like it. I hate it. Reina is always burning that thing all around. I burn different stuff. But yeah, sage. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sage. You guys are very good. You guys are helping me. I'm gonna get good with you guys. I'm doing this English stuff. Sage. So yes, and you can do miracles with that sage. It's just not the sage that you go to the Botanica. Commercial time. My Botanica. Botanica Oriaté here in Houston. Just not that sage that you get at a Botanica and burn it. You can do a lot of things to that sage, but let's leave that to another. I'm telling you, I have 15 years worth of content to share with you guys, to share with the English community speaking people, and most of the times the lives are not going to be here on TikTok. I just put the live button on here on TikTok because I want people to watch me on TikTok and tell them about my YouTube channel and tell them to go to my YouTube channel because I'm live right now as we speak on my YouTube channel, which I have a lot of people connected all the time. It's just that now is 1 in the morning. I'm also doing the lives in English, and 95% of my content, of my followers, is in Spanish, and I'm gonna have to settle for 20, 30, 40 people for right now connected on YouTube. Hey, but at least one person that I help, one person back is your YouTube English channel backup. What does backup means? What do you mean by backup? Simply, I would love to answer you that question, but I don't know what do you mean by backup. So be prepared psychologically. Has in available. has it available? Yes, of course it's available. It's public. It's to the public. It's a verified. Where can I? Okay, I'm gonna show you guys on TikTok. Bear with me. I'm gonna get back to the subject in about 25 seconds because I have some very good things to good things to show with you guys. Okay, this is my YouTube channel. Okay, let me put this screen in mirror video so you guys can see it right. This is my awesome. Thank you. Can't wait. Okay, simply makes this. I invite you to my YouTube channel. This is my YouTube channel, David Aggayu. It is a verified. You guys can see the little check mark. It's just that YouTube verification is not blue like Facebook or other platforms. It's gray or black, I think. It is verified. It has 134,000 subscribers. That's me. And almost 1,900 videos. I had almost 3,000 videos, but I don't know what happened that 700 of my videos just disappeared. And it's the most Spanish view religious content channel on YouTube and social media. My YouTube channel, but Spanish, not English. I also have my YouTube. What's that? How do you call that? The silver flag, silver button. The silver button, which is this one. The silver button. You see this? This. You see, guys? So yes, my YouTube channel is very with the help of you guys with you guys and the content, we have been able to build a community, to build a brand, to build something historical, because for the first time in this religion, yes, Lucky, it was meant, to have the bóveda has my background, but I am not a very skinny person per se, and I don't, so yes, but so let's continue, guys. Let's continue because this life is gonna get more interesting. Hey Dave, has Reina called you? I'd like to hear about your new performance. This was. Thank you very much, Rita. So then, yes, the spiritual mind has to be clear and focused. Has any distractions or wandering thoughts can and will affect the concentration needed to perform on the spiritual mass. Trust me, that's why a lot of people think they're not spiritists, but everybody are spirits. And for those of you that are joining me on TikTok, this live is going to be fully available, the full live on my YouTube channel, which I kindly invite you to follow me here. So it is important to understand that although it may seem insignificant, the mental and emotional state of the spiritist will significantly influence the spiritual session. That's why it's very important for you to know who you call. The person that we're going to call to have a spiritual mass or a spiritual session in our house has to be a person with a mental stability, with a life stability, has to be a person with a spiritual stability, and has to be a person with a stable stability that that person is, that the person is spiritually, mentally, psychologically, in all the ways, shapes, and forms. The person has to be a stable person. If not, you're not gonna get a good misa. That's for sure. I don't care if it's the most unknown person or the most famous person. If the person is not stable, if the spiritist is not stable, it's not at a stable, it's not balanced. There we go, Medito. It's not at a balance, at a balanced state of mind, spiritual state, material state, and in all ways that you can think of. The misa is just gonna be a piece of crap. It's not gonna be good. Everything that they're gonna tell you in the misa is just gonna be, things out there like circumstantial. It's just gonna be like, my spirit says that you have someone that envies you. How do you say envidiar? Envies you. My spirit said that you have somebody that envies you. My spirit says that you need to be careful with the car accident. My spirit says you need to be careful you don't get fired from your job. Those are, that's not even considered kindergarten or first grade misa. That's just, all of these are circumstantial. That is not a spiritist. And this is the reason, the exact reason why we decided 2 months ago to establish a Spiritism institution, a Spiritism school, a Spiritism academy, in which I guarantee you that you will not regret for a quarter of a second to at least be with us for 1 month, so you can see so you can see the spiritual capacity that you have at levels that you never thought a person can have in this world. So yes, in summary, the preparation of the spiritist to perform a spiritual mass is integral. It's important. It's very important process that involves physical, spiritual, and mental cleansing. Only through proper preparation can effective communication with spirits be achieved and ensure that the energies flow correctly during the session. You cannot be dirty sexually, if you know you're gonna do a spiritual session, a spiritual mass tonight, whether you doing it in your house, they're gonna do it for you, or you already a pro at it, or you are a spiritist that you do misas for a living, and you have a spiritual session tomorrow to go to. Try to be has more pure that you can. I'm not gonna tell you to not to have intercourse for a week or nothing like that, because that's ridiculous. But no, guys, come on, don't have sex at 9 o'clock in the morning when you have a spiritual session at 6 o'clock at night or at 7 o'clock at night. These are rules that they're not just applied in Ifa or Risha and in Kisimalongo. They're applied in all segments and sections of this beautiful religion. Yes, definitely, Marimar. Disciplina, mi gente. Disciplina. It's not going nowhere. It's gonna be there when you come back at 1 o'clock in the morning, at 2 o'clock in the morning, or at 12 o'clock at night, or whatever time the misa finishes. It's gonna be there. You can hold it. It's not like you're super heat man, super heat woman, and it's going to be there. Take care of the spiritual stuff first. When we do when we take care of a spiritual business at a spiritual level, and we divide that of the material business at a material level, and we separate the material business from the material level of the material business, we separate them from the spiritual business on spiritual levels are spiritual energies that manifest in our inner self, which is what makes us see what other people don't see, what makes us hear what other people don't hear, and what makes us experience spiritual, how can I say this? Spiritual momentums. I don't know, I just came up with that word, so I don't even know if it's spiritual momentums that other spiritists can't or don't experience yet. You know, when you begin to build a character, when you begin to build a figure, a spiritual figure, because you don't just build in the spiritual world, you don't just build a material figure. Thank you very much, Maditao. You guys support means a lot to me, because I know the English community is way more like, how do you say that, exigente, than the Spanish one. You guys like perfectness. You know, it's not the same a Latino going to McDonald's if the fries are cold, hot, whatever. Just give it demanding. There you go. The English community is very demanding. You know, when I'm Latino, I'm Cuban. When I go to McDonald's, well, I'm in a hurry. The fries are cold, hot. It's whatever. It's life. It's whatever. I just get on with it. But no, an American or an only English speaking person goes to McDonald's. Oh man, don't let that fries better not be cold. If not, you're gonna have it coming. So yeah, let's keep on. We have better techniques. In the Spiritism practice, throughout many years, it has been observed that many practitioners have adopted an automatic or mechanical way of doing spiritualizations, or known as misas. Right? Like sometimes you go to a misa and you just see, thank you very much, Amila. Thank you guys. Thank you. Hugs and kisses. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, sometimes we go to a misa, most of the times we go to a misa, as a matter of fact, and we see same old. People get to the misa, they get to the house, they get there, and we share some words. Hi, how you doing, guys? Hey, nice to see you. Blah blah. If there's a coffee, we share a coffee. This, and that, and we sit down for the misa. Our elders sometimes don't teach us, maybe out of ignorance or maybe out of selfishness. I go more with the first one than with the second one. They don't teach us that there are a lot of things ego, that's a big one too, ego. Yeah, human being, we're the only creature that in our brain we feel threatened when we see another being, another anything, whether it's human, animal, or anything, another figure that is the same or bigger than us. We are the only creatures created in this whole wide world, planet, by Olodumare, or by, uh, let's just say God, because we're talking about spiritism, but I'm very, I like to say Olodumare because I'm not Christian, you know. But anyways, we are the only creatures feel that feel intimidated when somebody else know a little bit, that we see that somebody else knows the same as us, or a little bit more of us. We are the only creatures. When you see animals, how many times have you seen a small dogs like a Chihuahua fighting with a Rottweiler? How many times have you seen a little bird fighting with a hyena? Although the little bird loses, he doesn't care. But his mind don't perceive the danger, and so the bird is not scared. You can have a very small animal fighting with a very big animal. You can have a small plant fighting against a very big plant. Scientifically proven. Plants does go into fight, and they do fight for the power of the space in which they live in. For those of you that didn't know, yeah, when I found that out, also I read about that. I was like, wait a minute, what? So yeah, a lot of times we neglect from the attention to the details we once consider important. Like before, when we started, maybe if we started many years ago, and we used to going to do a misa, we used to get prepared. We used to be prepared. I'm sorry, we used to prepare. We used to prepare for a misa since the morning, since we wake up. Prepare with songs, put a little radio, put a CD, a spiritual song. We get up and clean the house with cascarilla, with husk, and alcohol and perfumes, and we used to get the environment ready. That was back then. Now we're gonna do a misa. We're gonna do a misa 7 o'clock at night, and we're gonna work. We can't miss work, especially for a misa. And we get home from work like at 6:30 in the afternoon, and then there you go, hurrying up to eat something, hurrying up to take a shower. You rushing, hurrying up, rushing. You rushing to take a shower. You're rushing to get dressed, and you just bloom, 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 and you're like, oh my God, people are getting home. This guy got here already. This guy's in the driveway. This guy's parking. This lady have arrived, and that's how we do a misa these days. A lot of times, and it doesn't work like that. It's never gonna work like that. If you're gonna do a misa like that, just don't do it. Postpone the misa. Preparation is the key for success. Whether it's a misa, whether it's an Orisha consecration, whether it's an Inquisima Longo consecration, initiation, or whether it's any type of initiation that in any way, shape, or form, any type of initiation, preparation and knowledge, obviously. Preparation and knowledge. But also knowledge comes from preparation. Because if you don't prepare spiritually, if you don't prepare with knowledge before, if you don't prepare, why don't you speak Spanish? I don't speak Spanish because I have been speaking Spanish for the past 15 years. And there is a huge, broad community out there of more millions of people that are in need of my content and that I need to help, and I do not understand or neither or speak Spanish. So there are going to be sometimes, actually a lot of times, where my English are going to be in English. For those of you Spanish speakers, you have about 2,000 lives in my YouTube channel and videos and posts that you guys need to watch. Those 2,000. I have plenty of lives, hundreds of lives of Spiritism, Palomayombe, Orisha, Olokun, Obatala, hundreds of 3 hours, 5 hour lives streaming of voices, Addimus, free voices, talking about Dilogun, talking about Ifa, but also you have my school. You know, I have all of my 5 schools are in Spanish and English, but you have my schools, you know. So, you know, we got to do good, guys. We got to do good, you know, for the big growing community of bilingual and only English speaker community religious brothers and sisters. So in most cases, this is due to a loss of interest. It's due to a loss of spiritual development or growth, for that matter. And sometimes people have come to the conclusion that they have reached their full potential in the spiritism world, in the spiritual world, and that, you know, I've been doing this for a couple of years. I'm not gonna be better than what I am already are, and that's just the way it is. I accept my destiny. That's not what I was born for, and it's just other people are born for certain things and other people for certain things. Well, guess not. Guess what? I'm sorry. You're wrong. You're wrong. The law of Spiritism, the principal law of Spiritism, the scientific law of matter says that all matter have to be possessed and moved by an atom, and all atoms are moved by an energy. If you can move and if you live in a body, you have a spirit within you that you can maximize, you can explode its maximal potential, you can take it to the next level. If you want to be lazy and you want to be, you know, on the phone the whole day, in social media the whole day, and you don't want to read a book, and I strongly recommend my books. They're guaranteed. You don't want to do anything to take your. You see, because material is only going to multiply itself when the multiplication comes from spiritual. It's a negative and positive, you know. It's a negative and positive. The material side of life will only multiply itself if it comes with the spiritual side. So spiritual plus material equals, you know, and even the law of gravity tells you this. So all human beings have to be possessed by material, spiritual, and soul. All human beings have material, which is the flesh, which is the skin. Oh crap, it hurts. This is material. And the spirit that lives within us. And then the soul. And there's a difference between the spirit and the soul. And that's for another life, because that's another 2-hour life. That's a very deep subject that if I mix that subject with this subject, man, we're gonna be here the whole night. And it's already 1:30 here in the morning, and I want to finish sharing with you the concepts, the very important concepts that you guys can do, the techniques, old effective techniques, you know. And it's just, you know, the fact that some spiritual practitioners, spiritists, who act out of ignorance or simply self-centered, not realizing that their spiritual growth may be at stake. You know, it's just the fact that we need to realize that we need to pay closer attention, because this may be a result of taking lightly many of the practices that elders initially considered essential or spiritual cleansings, spiritual preparations before the fact, that many elders in the past used to do before beginning a spiritual mass. And now these days, you know, you just get to a mass, spiritual mass, you sit down, or you know, Holy Father, you know, Padre Nuestro. It's like, dude, did you prepare for that? You always have to prepare for something. Orisha initiation takes preparedness. Ifa initiation takes preparedness. And Quince Malongo initiation takes preparedness. Readings. I do readings for a living, that I'm a master. I teach to do readings to students at my school. Readings with the lagoons, with the caracol, readings with the chamalongo, readings with several tools of divinations. Readings takes a process, a preparation to just to sit down and do that reading. You need to go through the preparation. You need to prepare the ate, you need to prepare the stera, you need to prepare the jicara with water, you need to prepare your notebook, you need to prepare yourself, you need to take off your shoes, you need to kneel down as a priest and kiss. Whether you're a woman priest or whether you are a male priest or a female priest, just priest, period, you need to prepare for a reading. And if you're a woman and you're going to sit down in stera, in ate, in the mat, and you're going to do a reading, you need to put your saya, you need to put your, how do you say saya? Blouse? No, blouse is on the top. I don't know how to say it. Saya. Skirt. Yes, skirt. Long skirt, ladies. You know. When you go to a spiritual mass, you put a long skirt. It ain't no above the knee skirt. It's not a misa club. It's not a club misa. It's not a club sandwich. It's not a club soda. It's not a club session. And it's not a club ceremony. It's a spiritual mass, you know. As far as I'm concerned, spirits don't get excited about legs. It's the whole opposite side of things, you know. Yes, that's right. And tights under the long skirts. Tight under the long skirts. Dressed in white. You don't want to dress in white, that's fine. Sometimes I don't dress in white. Sometimes we have spirits that don't feel that comfortable in certain days dressed in white. I have done plenty of misas. I have done some misas that I have dressed in white and it hasn't been my lucky day. And I have done hundreds of misas where I have not been dressed in white, and I'm telling you, that misas, man, I've been mentioning dates, names, addresses, and people are like, what the hell what are you on, dude? So you don't, it's not an obligation, you know, because that's something that we're going to talk about in another life, to dress white. And you know, we have a wrong perception of this um, white color, but definitely not in black, guys, please. Ladies, no leggings, feels naked, and it's wrong. And we, you know, it's, you need to have a long skirt. Under the skirts you need to have your tight leggings, and under the leggings you need to have your underwear, underwear, underclothing. And you need to dress properly if you want a spirit to come down to earth, to this earthly dimension, and treat you with respect and treat you properly. You need to treat the spirits properly. You need to treat the deities that you're praying to, which is allegedly God and the spirits in the misa. You need to respect that, because I mean, at least in an Orisha initiation, you show into an Orisha initiation dressed kind of funny inside of a room of Osha, and I'm gonna call you apart, and I'm gonna tell you, please go to the corner to Walmart, and with about $30, $40, $50, you can get a blouse, leggings, and a long skirt. Or maybe not skirts, but yeah, you get the point. No escotes, you know, no boobs showing, you know, like. What the hell is that? In Africa, women even cover their hair. Yeah, it's when we do a spiritual session, understand this. When we do a spiritual mass, you are, how do you say this word? You are, man, I want to say something very important, but I don't. When you're doing spiritual mass, you are remembering the pattern of concept of live, like when you do a spiritual mass, you're imitating when a spirit died on that certain night. Like, yeah, like cuando haces una misa espiritual, estás reviviendo ese acontecimiento. You are reliving that thing that happened one time many years ago, that someone passed away, and that night where you guys were doing the el velorio. Definitely, Marimar. That's the way to go. Never heard of that before. Never heard of that. Well, yes, Yamila. With me, you're gonna hear a lot of new things. With me, you're going to hear a lot of different things, because I'm different. Yes, and basically I'm sharing with you, reliving the moment. There you go. That's, thank you, Pun. When you're doing a misa, you are reliving the moment of a wake. You are reliving the moment of a velorio. And this is a deeply concept that I shouldn't even be talking about. This is for a different life, but just so I can give you guys some, you know, little heads up on the subject. We go to a velorio. We see a box, you know. We see the dead person, the dead physical person inside the box. And there's a lot of people quiet. You know, there's tears. There's drinks, you know, water, refreshments. when we effective, cuando efectuamos, cuando hacemos, when we do a spiritual mass, we are relieving a wake. That box you see on a wake is this table. That spirit, that person that you see inside that box is the cups, you know. That silence, that respect, the way to dress on a wake is the same one then into a how do we say this, into a spiritual table. Now the difference is that since the person that day was getting on the wake, and everybody went black, and now the person is in a spiritual dimension, it has reached its spiritual place dimension, then now it lives, that person lives with surrounded by white. But that, you just brought it full circle. Hadn't heard this explanation, and it makes full sense. Marimar, I can do a live of I can do a very nice and broad live explaining this subject, and I can prove to you guys with proof, and not just explanations and theories, but also with literature. I'm a little hated in the Spanish community because a lot of people don't like me because when I say things, oh, you're saying this, and that, and then next day I do the live with like about 15 books with the name of the page, the name of the paragraph, the name of the author, and I'd be like, look. And then they're like, they go to the backup plan. Oh, this book, you don't learn this book by religion, by reading. You don't learn this religion by books. That's, the backup plan. Oh, you don't learn this religion by books, blah, 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 this, and that. Oh, uh, it's, yeah. But yes, when you do a spiritual mass, you relive in the moment that it was once lived, once upon a time when the person was getting a wake done to them, And we need to pay more attention. We need to pay more attention if we want to develop our spirits, if we want to connect with our ancestors, because this might, the practices that elders initially considered essential of spiritual cleansing and preparations that in the past others used to do before beginning the spiritual mass, we need to recover. We need to recover this way of work. And the preparation of a working spiritual space for a mass, it is crucial. Like I said at the beginning of this life, it's because you're the pure truth, and most people don't like such kind of honesty. Thank you, Nasa. Marimar, I love when you bring out the literacy citations. First time I ever saw a video of yours was an Oya video, and you cited all these verified old school sources. Thank you for the that you give topics. Thank you very much, Marimar. Now, this space, guys, whether it is a house that you're going to do a misa, or whether it's in the temple, it is the place where the spirits will manifest, because you're going to do the spiritual mass at that place. The purity and the cleanliness of this place is going to significantly influence the effectiveness of the communication between the earthly and the spiritual surface. And guys, you know what? It's imperative to know that a well prepared place, house, facility, it's going to facilitate a smoother and more effective communication with the spirits throughout the process of the misa. If you're gonna do a misa at a house, you're gonna have a misa done to your house, or you're gonna do a misa at another house. If you call me to do a misa at your house, I'm gonna make sure I tell you. You know, I try. You know, most of the time it's my assistant or the assistant of my assistant, and sometimes I can't talk to the person. But if you're my ahijado and you call me into my personal number, I'm gonna make sure I tell you, my please, 2 or 3 days before, start cleaning the house, start doing preparations, start preparing the how do you guys say ambiente? How do you guys say ambiente? Like, you know, the air and the atmosphere. Yeah, that's, man. Thank you, lady. You're amazing. That's the word I'm looking for. Ambience. Ambience is too much of a big word for me, Lucky. Atmosphere sounds about perfectly right. Environment, environment might be good too, but I think atmosphere is the environment sounds very the right context also. You know, and they are some main points. You know, main points that I want to share that I would like to touch bases on today, that has, we get ready for the day of a misa or the time of a misa. There are important things that we can do that can enhance to an extreme level of success the spiritual mass. You know, the practitioners, the spiritists, or the practitioners of the spiritism should attend the spirits 3 consecutive days before the day of the misa. And by doing this, so, you know, you are going to ensure that you maintain an effective and aligned communication with the spirits, with your spirits, and continue their spiritual development. With development as that day of the spiritual misa gets closer. And this, I've tried this. I've done misas without doing this, and I have done misas doing this, and the results are amazing. Trust me. Try it one day. You will not do a misa that you will be unsatisfied if you try this, what I'm advising you. The house, your house, the house where the spiritual mass will be held has to be prepared with great care and attention. The space should be completely purified, free of any negative energy that may interfere with the communication. If someone comes that day or the day before or 3 days before with any negativity or any, you know, hiccups or anything like that, you're gonna be like, hey, listen, I have a misa in 2 days. I don't need that negativity right now. You can come back the day after the misa. You know, I don't need all that bull right now in this house. This house is getting prepared for spiritual. You know, back then, spiritual sessions, spiritual masses, spiritual misas were so important that elderly people used to look at misas like a huge deal. Now you're gonna do a misa, oh, whatever. Padre nuestro, oh vení protector, oh vení, amigo, dice aquí, blah, you know. And we need to try to recover, to embrace our traditions. Embrace. Damn, I said a big word though. That's a huge word for me. I mean, probably I can spell embrace. Embrace. How do you spell embrace? Embrace. Embrace. Yes, EMBRACE. There you go. I'm not a Barcero. Haha. I'm just sound like a ref of the Barca. I'm a U.S. citizen, guys, since I'm 16 years old. But you know, little by little, words comes back to me. It comes back to me. So yes, in addition, the atmosphere has to become, you know, atmosphere. It's very important. Atmosphere, peaceful, and the atmospheres. When the atmosphere creates a spiritual environment conducive to spiritual communication, all spiritual tides come together. And at the time of a spiritual session or a spiritual mass, this house is placed, this home, consecration. There you go. Thank you, lady. This home, it is transformed into a unique spiritual sanctuary. When you do a misa, you transform your house or that house into a unique spiritual sanctuary. And it is here that the spirits will come to assist us, to take light, to express their gratitude, to quench their spiritual thirst, and to manifest their, you know, spiritual evolution and development. Spirits will not attend a space to get light if the environment is not pure. That's just the way it is. If it's an environment of perico, you can forget about the misa. You know that, right? If it's an environment of marijuana, you're definitely gonna have to forget about the misa. If it's an environment of delinquency and alcoholish or alcohol, ain't no goddamn spirits gonna manifest there and get light there. And if they do, it's gonna be some dark ass spirits. Freaking perro prenda or something like that. I don't know. But not light spirits that are gonna give light and equal and the elevation that your spirits or that their spirits needs. You know. Spirits are pure. Most of spirits are pure. And if there's not pureness, or at least we fake to have pureness. And how can we have pureness for a day or two in a house? Well, we don't argue in a house that you're going to do a misa. At least 48 hours, not to tell you 72 hours. Trust me when I tell you guys. Trust me. In a house where you're going to do a spiritual mass, a spiritual misa, 48 hours, you don't want to argue. You don't want any araye. You don't want any negativity. You don't want any dramas. You don't want any discussions, any dilemma. You don't want any if and buts. You don't want nothing bad about any people around you at your house. If you want to have one of the most successful spiritual masses of your life. And even though you're gonna, because you know, I think, sorry, I title this, I title, and don't think guys at any moment given in time that I did it on purpose. I know I title this life with a specific title. And little by little, you know, how do you say deviate? I deviate, you know, from the main. But this that I'm telling you, that I'm talking to you about, that I'm sharing with you, it is applied whether it's for a regular misa or a first time misa. Should children be at home during the misa? If so, what are precautions? I think children's should be at home, but the problem is not the children's. The problem is us, we the fathers, the parents, you know. That all depends. I mean, mine's is just a year and 2 months, and we're trying to teach them. But if your baby is 5 years old and you haven't taught your baby to get close to the religion, you haven't taught your kids to get close to the spirits, to get close to the spiritual mass, to love the spirits. You haven't taught your kids to like the orishas, to like the warriors, and you haven't taught your kids, and you haven't raised your kids in a spiritual and religious environment. There's no way in hell you're going to be able to sit a 3-year-old kid in a spiritual mass, because that's going to be something. That's going to be a roller coaster. Ain't nobody going to be able to see nothing in there, because the kid is not going to stay still, and it's not the kid's fault. It's the parents' fault. You know, children's are not only allowed to be in a misa, they should be in a misa. If the misa is in the house that the children lives, and you know it's in a weekend or something like that, the children should be in a misa. El niño termina diciendo la noche hacia carajo. But of course, and if they want to get posted, que se monte. And if they want to act like they're montado because they want to be funny and they're 3-4 years old, que lo haga. It's not disrespectful. Those are reflex of spirits that you think is monería. You think is they're acting dumb. They're acting foolish. But they're not acting foolish. Every action comes from a pre-action. And every pre-action comes from something called into the Spiritism world called unaction. The unaction that caused the pre-action and provoked the action comes from an energy, comes from a source, comes from a spirit. And indeed, Marimar said, kids are the purest energy. They see and perceive so much. That's just in the same subject that I was going to touch upon now. I mean, not that I was going to talk about kids. I'm gonna make a special live about kids in the religion period. Orisha, Spiritism, Palo Mayombe, Ifa, the whole thing. Well, Yamila, cause and effect are two things. 1 + 1, 2. It's the mathematical equation of cause and effect. But this, what I just mentioned, it's a little bit different and deeper than cause and effect, because the effect comes from the cause, but the cause comes from something that provokes the cause, you know, and that's Spiritism. That's deep study of the Spiritism. Something doesn't just happen out of the blue. There has to be something that provokes and make that the cause to happen. And in the Spiritism scientific world, because Spiritism is science. Anything that you can study, develop, and take to another whole different level is the study of science. Everything is science. To be about the science of Orisha, the science of Enkinsi Malongo. You know, when I tell people that Spiritism is it's a proven fact science, even proven by the government, even proven by UNESCO. People look at me like I'm crazy. Oh, Spiritism is no science. You are born gifted. Come on, guys. Don't call the bullshit. Ain't nobody born gifted here. Ain't nobody, nobody gets possessed with 5 years old and tells you your life. The cause is that your spiritual mesa. No, Yamila, that's not the cause. The cause is in the. It's a term that is in the book, the book of the mediums, in the book of Allan Kardec, in the page 341, in the second paragraph, second sentence, third word. That's what the term correct term are. And I can also cite you a couple of other uh, literature that is gonna, you know, something provokes the cause and the cause provokes the effect. It's the pattern of three in the Spiritism. Spiritism doesn't work in patterns of two. It works in patterns of three. That's why we say Padre, Hijo, Espíritu Santo, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. I guess that's how you say it in English. I don't know. In English, it sounds too Christianitish, you know, and I don't like to sound too like it. But this is deeper than what we think. It's definitely deeper than what we think. And I need a cigarette. I need a cigarette. But yes, Alexis. As a matter of fact, that is my first language, and this was a Spanish channel, and now it's a Spanish English. And out of my 2,000 videos, I do have like 15 videos already, videos and lives in English in this YouTube channel, which I invite you to check out. I invite you to follow me, to subscribe, to hit the like button, and I guarantee you that you will not um, regret it. If you watch, you know, if some of you guys that think the unthinkable, you know, not to get into any, you know, I don't want to start my first English life, and well, it's not my first English life, but technically in the officially way that I'm doing it, it's my first English life, and I don't want to start my first official English life off the wrong foot. But if the person would just think the unthinkable, I have the book on my shelf. If not the medium one, the Spirit's book. Yes, yes. I have read all of his books. Yes, it's interesting. And a lot of other Spiritism authors from the 1930s, 1890s, 1780s. It's very, you know, I'm loving this English live stream. The vibe has been wonderful. Yes, it's a different vibe. You know, indeed, it's a very different vibe. It's very different, more educational. I mean, my Spanish lives are very educational. It's just that they get wild sometimes, you know, because the professor gets out of hand. You know, I'm also a human being, and you know, but you know, sometimes less is more, and more is less. You know, it's right now 2 o'clock in the morning. Only a couple of people here connected. Just two, 3 people connected in my YouTube, TikTok. I mean, not literally 2 or 3, but let's just keep it at 2 or 3. And you know, but with the few that we are, we make 4,000, because sometimes I have 700 people connecting to my life, and it's like 680 people eating shit, and 20 people, 20 people, religious people paying attention and writing. Because I make sure that every time I do a live stream, is to help at a certain level so much humanity that that life is going to be worth the while for the other person. When he hears me, it's going to make them want to write. It's going to make them want to take notes. But yes, that's good. Nobody's instigating. Can a kid be a padrino since he's more pure and innocent? Anybody can be a padrino, and anybody can be a madrina. That's not, the level of spiritual uh, energy or essence that you're gonna have get being done to you. It's not gonna have more energy or more importance because of a 37-year-old man does it to you than if a 7-year-old does it to you. You know, if you wanna, if you wanna choose a 7-year-old, kid to be your godfather or to be your Yubona, you can choose the kid to be your godfather. Okay, my above question. I gave birth to my twins. They're 4 years old and knocked down my boveda. I don't know how to keep. I don't know how to keep them off. Uh, Lucky, they're 4 years old and knocked down my boveda. Okay, Lucky. Well, Lucky, do you want the effective Cuban way or do you want the traditional psychological American pattern that usually uh, turns out not good, not working? Yes, please, anything. PUN are laughing her ass or his ass off, like saying, I already know where David's going. Lucky, um, today, today, something personal happened to me, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. I usually don't share personal insight like I'm Cuban and Puerto Rican, so I know. I usually don't share personal. People think they might know me, but you know, people people know about me what I want them to know about me. People know about me what they know about me, what I like to show myself as, and they can see me as. I show what I want and what I like, and that's what people perceive or they know about me. And out of what they see in social media, they can depends on the level of intelligence and IQ, they can perceive different different characters that I am. Some people perceive that I'm a certain way. Some people perceive that I'm a different way. So I never tried to show it. But I'm gonna share a personal experience with you tonight. Oh, today, because it's 2 o'clock in the morning here in Houston, Texas, and most of you guys have 3, 4, and 5 o'clock in the morning. Where did I study at? Well, my most important education was in my house. My mother gave me my most important education. You know. Then it came around school. Then came around my others. Then my others, I went apart. My others went apart because that's life. You move, you go on. Then it came around school, and then it came around college, and then it came around universities, and then it came around religion, and then how do you say that word? How do you say autodidacta? How do you say, guys, autodidacta when you self study a field um, of expertise that you don't go to another like a institution to study? Then it came that self education, self taught, self thrive, self centered, self inner centered, self ori centered. you know Before that, self centeredness and self taught, self education came university. you know um, yeah, I went to Miami-Dade College for our inquisitive, veer Yamila, or inquisitive, beloved Yamila, that is asking where did I study. Right now, the phones are pointing to my bóveda. Maybe tomorrow or another day that I'll be doing a live pointing that way. Um, you guys can see my office. But yes. Anyways, guys, what happened to me today is that my son just go to the to go to the how do you say that? To go to the point. My son, how do you say tumbó mi Aggayú? Wilson campus. There you go. You know Miami-Dade College. Wilson campus, yeah. That's where I got my BA degree in AA. Well, MA, music education. Music education. You seem lost for words. No, maybe you're right, but um, I'm always I'm the type of person that uh, when I get lost for something, I try to find that it's lost, and I try to find it. And if I don't find it, I ask for help. And if I don't ask for help, I look for help. And if I can find the help, I make the help myself, and I help myself. And eventually, I find the words. Yamila. So yes, I do get lost into the English context because I came from Cuba when I was 11 years old, and yes, that's not only great, that's extraordinary. That's a capacity that very few people have in this world. You know, to be self-thrive, to not have to need motivation from other people to for you to be motivated. You know, I'm a guy that have over 1 million followers in social media, Yamila. And I'm over here, I have, you know, in my letra del año, I have had over 6,000 people connected on my YouTube channel. And I'm on my YouTube channel right now with 30 people connected. But when you know what you've done, and when you know who you are and why you're doing is to what you're doing, because you see, a study at Yale University last year in the Department of Anthropology, uh, Dr. Dr. Nixon did a study and came up with that 89.5% of the people do what they do and they don't know what they do. We make 1,951 decisions a day. And we don't know why the hell we do what we do. You know, we scratch our nose, we take off our glasses, we scratch here, we see our phone. You know, each of those is a decision, right? But I know what I do every single time that I do, because before I do what I do, I ask myself, why do I do it, and what productive is going to come out of that, what I'm doing. So yeah, I do get lost into words, but what I will never be lost on is into brains. That's what I will never be lost on. So yeah, I have read few books. I mean, I have only read like 650 books in English, but more than 7,500 books in Spanish. So obviously my Spanish dialect is going to be way more broad than the English one. You know, this is what you see here. You know, you see here. You know, this is just a little peek, just a little peek, just a little peek, just a little peek. And that's it. It goes all around my whole entire office, and that's just physical ones. I have 5 more offices full of books, and then I have 45,000 PDF antique books, not Google PDF 599 books or Kindle, Amazon Kindle books. So yeah, that's called EOCD, guys. There's OCD and there's EOCD. And then there's something called bibliophilia and another thing called bibliomania. Well, but we're not here to talk about my um, defectiveness or my virtues or how dumb or smart I am. We're here to talk about the Spiritism world. And yes, my son knocked down my Aggayu today. My son knocked down. Yes, Yamila, reading is my most favorite passion right now. I'm trying to finish the read. I just received this 13 books 4 days ago, and I am almost finished up reading these 13 books. I'm reading all these 13 books at the same time. Yeah, yeah, 13 books at the same time. And yes, it's reading does to the brain what sex wish it can do at one time in life. And sex provokes creation. So intimacy is one of the best things that God has created. What reading does to the brain 3 times more positivity than what sex does to us. Imagine what reading, and this is science, but we'll leave that for another day. My wife woke me up today at 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 in the morning, after I went to sleep at 6:35 in the morning. And I was like, what, babe, what? She's like, oh my God, the baby. Oh, you will. I'm sure if you open the book and you start reading, you don't understand it the first time. You read it again, the second time you read it again, the third time. I have read a book 7 times, Yamila, because I have not understood it. I have read books 7 times on my son. There's a book of Albert Einstein. Well, I'll talk to you a little bit about you guys on another time. I speak Spanish. and and I told Reina, that's fine. He knocked down Aggayu just before you picked up my before you pick up my Aggayu. Just get a igba with water, with omi. Just get a higara with water and put some splashes of water, on top of Aggayu and the floor. Say omi tuto, no tuto, ile tuto. And just put back. Por favor, si pueden darle un like. If you guys can hit a like on YouTube. If you guys can give me a thumbs up, please. Please. Thank you. Si pueden darle un like a la directa. If you don't know how to give a like to the live, you can just leave the screen pressed. You leave the screen like hold, you press the screen, and a little pop-up window is going to come up. Like this. If you do this, well, that's only on the phone. If you're on a tablet, you gotta press here, the like, press here, But if you're on the phone, when you press this screen, it is going to come up a little pop-up window. So I told Reina, just pour some water on top of Aggayu and the floor, some water, omi tuto, no tuto, and just pick up Aggayu up and put him back in the tent. What do you want me to do? You want me to give him 9 chivos or something like that? Like, you're crazy, it fell. It's just, it happens. But when my son went to do it again, I smacked the crap out of him, like really hard. Like, eso no se hace. He cried for like 30 seconds. Porque un descarado. Se cae, se da unas trancas, and he doesn't cry for nothing. No le duele nada. Nothing hurts him. But it's that sentimental feeling of father, son. And he never touched Aggayu again. So the best way that you can teach your 4-year-old twin, lucky, like really really, is to put character, and and you have to speak with, you have to say like you mean it. And if you have to correct them and punish them, when I mean by punish them, is you tell them to, this is your punishment. You know, when you tell kids, when I read the book, The Mind of Psychology, from Dr. Spencer, The Mind of Psychology of the Babies. When you tell kids from 0 to 7 year old, 0 to 7 year old, the brain thinks different than from 7 to 14, and 7 to 14 the brain thinks different than 14 to 21. It's the three main cycles of life of a person. Each cycle is divided into three concepts, that each concept, whether depends on how you live it, it's how your spiritual life, material life, and your inner life is going to be. And but anyways, at 4 year old, what I will tell my baby, if he touches Aggayú or any Orisha or a spiritual vault, is first I will teach him. I will teach your babies, your both twins, your twins. It's only one set of twins. Your two kids. I will put them in front of your spiritual vault and I will speak to them. They will understand you perfectly fine. You will tell them the same way I speak to my son that is 13 months old, and he understands me. Your kids can understand you. And you will tell them, this is where the spirits, the energies, the ancestors live. Spirits live here, and this is their own private space. You cannot get into their space, and they cannot get into your space. If you don't respect the space, they're not going to respect our space, and they're not going to respect your space. This is holy. This is ¿cómo se dice puro? This is puro. This is like the holy grail of your upscale communication with the hereafter, with the deities, with gods, with the orishas, with our ancestors. And if the baby's grandfather or grandmother, like you just mentioned a couple of that people's name, ancestors' name, this is the puente, the bridge. This here, it is the bridge to connect with with your grandmommy, with your granddad, with your great grandmom, or with your any family. I don't want to start killing family members. With any of the family members that the baby has had that passed away, any of them, this is the bridge. If you break this and you touch it and it falls, don't say pantheon. Trust me, Smurf. The psychology with babies, with kids, say bridge. They perceive the mind, the brain of the human being. When you perceive a bridge, you're gonna understand way clear that the neurochemical of dopamine in the brain will passively process it at 5.3% more that when you say bridge than if you say Pantheon. Pantheons, they sound like fucking like scary movie, like Michael Myers type of stuff. You tell a kid Pantheon, but like, what is a Pantheon? Well, that's a place where people, when you die, they bury your ass in there, and you don't want to tell kids Pantheon. Bridge. It's a spiritual bridge. You see how nice it is? It's different. And you educate them. When you educate kids, it doesn't matter how old they are, they will understand, because kids can't talk yet. They bridge is a connection, of course, pun. We have five senses. If we cannot use one, which is talking, we will develop, 35.8% more another sense. So what is the other sense that babies and kids develop way more catchy and faster than us? Brain. Because we can talk. We can already talk. Babies can't talk. They develop touching. They develop senses. They develop the mind. They catch things. They understand, even though you think he doesn't understand. They understand. Oh, trust me, they understand a lot. They understand more than what you think. So you speak to them, you teach them. You need to be able to have that, first to have that knowledge, because you can teach your kids something that you don't know. And that's the main things about religious parents these days. They want kids to grow up and be religious, and we don't know shit about what we do. We need to learn. We need to educate ourselves, so we can then educate our kids. So, our kids won't be scammed like we have gotten scammed in the past. I'm not saying you guys have gotten scammed, but I, thank God, have never been scammed, but I have been lied to. I wasn't born knowing, every brain, every mind, it's born with the purest sense, energy, the highest, purest energy of all of the matter, and every mind are able to do the same capacities. It's just a lot of minds in state at a frozen level, stay equal, stay in the same place. And you explain to your kids that, and there's that the first time. Now if they go and they go back and they do the same thing 10 minutes later, here comes the second step. The second step is to sit them in the sofa or sit them in the chair. You're going to sit there and you're not going to move. No baby, no son, no kid, no child, no daughter, nobody in this life will never die out of tears or crying. You can cry your ass off all day, all week, all month. I can give 3 flying peppers. I don't care if you cry. I need to teach my sons, I don't care if he's 10 months old, a year old, but with the odds that Oshun gave him when he crowned Osha, my baby crowned Osha, when he was born, that he was 16 days old, he crowned Osha. He just finished his Yauraje a couple of days ago with the very strong odds of the lagoon, and it even came up in misas that he has in Elegua, and his guardian angel is Oshun. If I don't educate him, and I don't be strong, the kids need to feel the power of love, the power of how do you call that? Authority. That's the word I'm looking for. If you don't put authority to your kids, they're gonna keep growing and they're not gonna have no respect for authority and for their other family members. Then they're gonna grow up and they're not gonna have respect for authority when they go to the daycare. And then they're gonna keep growing up and they're not gonna have respect for authority and elementary school. And then after that, they're much less are going to have respect for authority in middle school. And by the time they get to high school, they're going to be a delinquent, you know. I was scared to smack them because I heard El Eguat doesn't like that. No, whoever told you that, tell that person that is a liar and that don't know crap about who El Eguat is and what El Eguat likes or don't like. We need to educate our kids because El Eguat, okay, is not going to save your kids when he's 25 years old. He's a drug addict, he's a gang member, he's an alcoholic, and he's serving 5 years in jail. El lenguaje is going to save him. El lenguaje is going to be like that. He's Ori. Ori ni tío todo wow, dale Ori guache ahorita, vivo. Una Oriaté tenía y ya. The mother didn't prevent it. The mother feed destiny throughout the belly button. Ori knew the kids. You know? You know. I have gotten so many names, I don't want to, use all these egocentric names that they have given me, but they have, the king of this and this and that, the king of the bosses, because I know a million and one of bosses, but I have gotten people out of some very bad situation, like years and years and years, but sometimes when the truth of the matter hits, and I have to tell a mother, you want to pay me $3,500, $5,000, $1,500 to get your kid out of jail that they're trying to give him 3, 5, 6 years for something that he did, for something that he's starting to do when he was 16 and you never say nothing. And now you want El Eguat to free him? You want the spirits to free him? Orisha is not higher in hierarchy than Ori. And you let your Ori allow this. So then don't expect Orisha to undo what your Ori did. And there's just so many people that get scammed from so many babalaos, so many Oriatés. Oriaté, it's a Bore Orisha, highest priest in the Orisha religion. Is the Oriaté. We're the one that does Orisha initiation, Orisha ceremonies. If you did it, you're gonna pay for it. And yes, Marita, it's sad to say there's no parenting, but in the religion they're lying to the parents. Look at what they're telling to Lucky. That El Eguat gets mad if she grounds her kids and if she smacks her kids in the hand. No Orisha and no spirit gets mad at that. Olodumare doesn't get mad at that. No. There's a Yoruba proverb that says, Wogala mobo bo tuto ni oko lebe egbo opon ni opon tutu ni oko bo abawa niko omo niko keke omo keke eje abawa niko omo keke lereke ija meaning tragedy, meaning art. The verse is too long. What does the verse that is born in the Odu Ochemeyi says? What it says is that if you decided to have a kid as a mother, you will have a kid. If you get pregnant, if you decided to bring the kid to the world, you will bring the kid to the world. If you decided to raise your kid, you will raise your kid. If you decided to educate them, you're going to educate them. But if you decide to allow him to be the worst person in the world, he's going to be the worst person in the world. and nobody's going to be able to do nothing about it because you allow it. Because the baby, when it's sucked into your breast, into your milk, into your, how will you say, breast, tit, milk, anyways, whatever. When the baby, the Ogunda Meji, ni okolobo, wara wara no okolobo, tutu ni omugaga omolege, it says that babies feed, breastfeeding, thank you, Marima, but feed, the baby feeds out of the destiny of the mother, destination. So when you give your baby, you know, although you don't breastfeed him and then later on you give him the milk with the bottle, you at least feed the baby the breast half of a millionth of a second since he's born. And you feed the destiny, and you feed the authority, and you feed the inner self, and you feed the higher self, and you feed destination, and you feed a lot of spiritual Yoruba concept, methodological concept that I'm not going to talk about now because, you know, it's, but yes, you're going to educate your twins, you're going to teach your twins, and they're going to listen to you because they have to listen. If they don't listen, the second step is to punish them. Take away tablets, take away phone, which they should not have to begin with at 4 years old, neither at 5 or 6 or 7, they should not have. You know, that's why there's activities, there's books, there's puzzles, there's a lot of things. Electronics makes kids stupid. And when you make a kid stupid and illiterate, it makes what we have society now. 80% TikTok, 70% Facebook, 45% Instagram, and 22% YouTube. They don't have any devices. I don't allow it. That's, you know what? That's the best thing that you can decide. Put them into a sport, but yeah, you ground them. You're gonna sit there for half an hour, you know, and they have to sit there for half an hour. You're not gonna punish them for 2 weeks, but for half an hour, you need to sit there. Put them time out for half an hour, and they can talk. And put them in time out on different places. Different places. You're gonna be in this chair. You're gonna be on the other side of the house in the other chair. Thank you very much, abnormal. But yes. And if he does it again, then smack him in the hand. You go. At the size, at the level of his age and his size. Not to tear his arm apart and leave him a bruise for 3 years, but not so soft like a little 2-month-old baby, because he's not a 2-month baby. He's already a grown-ass 4-year-old kid. So, you know, the third time you smack him, boom, you don't do that. But when you smack him, you can't cry in front of him. You can't laugh in front of them. And you're not going to take away their punish them 10 minutes after. Okay, so keeping on with the hey, guys, I'm kind of tired already. I've been doing this life has been going on for almost 3 hours, and honestly, I prepare a very broad, a very big life of this subject, but I think I'm gonna have to divide this life into two pieces, into two parts, because I have so much information to share with you. I have so much information to share with you guys that honestly I need to rest. If I don't rest right now, I'm not gonna know what to do at, and plus the phones are kind of low on battery. The S22 is it's kind of low. The S24 Ultra, my main phone, is alright. Still has battery. Yes, so I'm gonna see, but please, whatever you think about the life, whatever you think about the way, what's the way you thought? What's the way you got taught? What's the way they taught you? What's the way your others, like, how did you seen it? If you like what I share with you, what would you like for me to share with you in the future when it comes to Spiritism? When it comes to Palo Mayombe? Remember, we're going to start doing, me and my wife, well, my wife and me and are going to start, this is mainly my channel, but she does lives here too to help me with the English context. Um, we're going to start trying to, I know we have promised many times, me, but I think the time has come. We're going to try to do lives as much as I can. For book reading. Yeah, yeah. You can call it Botanica. Botanica Oriaté. Phone numbers 832. I don't know the phone number for my business. 832 439 30. Well, you just Google Botanica Oriaté and it's gonna come up. I personally enjoy this. It has been a very fun life, very fun roller coaster. To be my first long official one subject life, I consider myself not to do, I didn't do that bad, but I'm not conforme. I'm very, I'm never satisfied. I get very unsatisfied with everything. I'm never satisfied with nothing that I do because I'm extremely, EOCD means extreme obsessive compulsive disorders. Just OCD is OCD. So I know I'm going to get better. I will get better. I promise to get better, and I am going to get better. Uh, Mainly for you guys because you guys deserve better. You guys deserve the best. Thank you for being here with me. If you've been watching this live on TikTok, know that this live was about Spiritism and the secrets and how to connect, tips and tricks, how to connect with the spirits and the ancestors and your spiritual guide. And it was a live that lasts 2 hours and 52 minutes, almost 3 hours. And the full live, you will be able to see it on YouTube. Here's YouTube, here's TikTok. So if you go into YouTube and you search David Allah, ALA, Aggayu, spelling Aggayu, Aggayu, David Allah Aggayu, my channel is gonna pop up. And if you guys subscribe, make sure you, like, after you subscribe, you select that little bell. You press on that little bell, and on that little bell is going to give you the option of notifications. Make sure you press all. So whenever I upload a video, trust me, there's no videos or religious knowledgeable content from me that I do that there's no video that you want to miss. There's no life that you want to miss. Trust me. And the days that I do lives in Spanish, you just put the captions in the text. But this is my YouTube channel. Let me put the mirror. Show it to you one more time. One person that goes and subscribe, for me, it's more than enough. My YouTube channel is David Aggayu. David Aggayu. It's verified. 134,000 subscribers. Getting close to 1,900 videos. I had more than 2,500 videos, but I don't know what happens with like about 500 videos. But anyways, they're on Facebook. They're Central TV. Look at me, more than 3,500 videos. I'll recover them back. I'll do them again. I'm only 37 years old, guys. I have more than enough time to make more than a bunch of thousands. I don't know how many thousands, but I know a bunch of thousands lives streaming. Yes, I am gonna speak to about. I'm going to speak very deeply into Palo Mayombe, Jose. But I have a lot of lives of Palo Mayombe in Spanish. Yo tengo bastantes lives de Enquisi Malongo en español en mi canal de YouTube. Bastante. I have a lot of streaming lives of Enquisi Malongo and Palo Mayombe in my YouTube channel in Spanish, and I will be doing some hell of a content. Like, you guys don't know what you guys have coming in Palomayombe. Hey guys, thank you for being with me. Marita, NASA, Marimar. I mean, everybody, you guys are so awesome. Lucky, you know, in TikTok, uh, Victoria, Lisette, everybody that follow me. I had an account on TikTok of 190,000 followers, and they brought it down. They blocked me like 2 months ago. So I just opened this one. This one has 18, 19,000 followers, but I opened this account like a month ago. This account is pretty new. But thank you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for supporting me. By being here, you're supporting me. You're supporting the truth. You're supporting the knowledge, and you're supporting yourself, because you're helping me and you're helping yourself. Helping me by listening to me, and you're helping yourself by listening to me. So thank you very much. Really, these teachings and thoughts, this life is sponsored. All of my lives, my YouTube channel, it is sponsored by the religious school education center, uh, which has 5 religious university schools available. You don't need to be initiated to be part of our schools. You can be part of our 1,000 plus religious students, um, and you can check us out at davidalagayu.com. You know, my personal website is www.davidalagayu.com, and you're gonna see the link there that says it says it in Spanish and English. It's bilingual. My whole website is in Spanish and English. Link to subscribe, to enroll in the schools, and then you're gonna see the Spiritism school. You're gonna see the Oriaté and Santero schools. You're gonna see the Dilogun school. You're gonna see the Palo Mayombe school, and then you're gonna see the Secrets of Initiations of Orisha school. You need your own television show teaching daily. Well, my television show is my YouTube channel, Smurf Finders, and I was planning to make a daily consistent show, but I have school Monday through Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. 6 to 9 p.m. And YouTube tells me that my followers are more connected from 6 to 9. So the only thing I can do, if I manage to make the time, is on a consistent pattern every day, do a live at 10 o'clock at night. But at 10 o'clock p.m. Houston time, which is 11 o'clock Miami time, 11 o'clock Cuban time. You know, I think we run in Houston, we run on Central time. So the only way I can do a live every day is by doing it at 10 o'clock at night, a live of 1 hour. Amazing, you busy up to early morning before you rest. Yeah. So, Jose, vamos a hablar de eso. Thank you very much. I see you guys at my school. See you guys at, you just enrolled in davidalagayu.com. Give me 1 month, and I'm going to give you an entire future, an entire life. Prosperous with spiritual mean to it, where you're going to find out the explanations to every single little detail in this religion. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are amazing. Once again, thank you for being with me. Dr. Oba Oriaté, David Alagayu. Achekoche. Ilerati Oridei Bukun, Bobo Risha Bewo. Ashe.